Welcome back to WD MagicCast for the week of July 7th, 2024. This is episode 263. WD MagicCast, the show about the mouse, the marvels, the galaxy, and beyond. I'm your host, Matthew Graken. In this week's show, Chris Brooks is back joining us to talk about his latest experience and trip to Walt Disney World, where he got to check out some of the latest and newest things that are available in the parks. And what better way to find out from someone who's been there firsthand? Got a little other surprises coming as well. Make sure to join the conversation on our social media, where we can be found just about everywhere at WD MagicCast on Threads, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are there. And please make sure, join our YouTube channel. We are doing a campaign at the moment. We need more subscribers on YouTube. We have big plans coming up for next month, and we need more subscribers to be able to make those plans happen. So please join in. We need a lot more subscribers. We are halfway to our goal, and please be one of the people to join in and help out. And check out our TeePublic shop, where we got some really cool WD MagicCast stuff there for you to be able to buy and purchase and help your favorite show out too. And on that bombshell, on with the show. Walt Disney World is forever changing and evolving and switching things up. As Walt said, it will never be a museum. And he didn't mean the fact that being a literal museum. He just means that it will be always changing, always growing. He referred to the parks as living creatures. And a prime example, recently, Splash Mountain has gone from being a ride about Song of the South now to being Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And someone who just recently went on that, and a few other experiences that have happened just recently in the parks, and beat up some defenseless dead trees and broke a few cinder blocks over just for the heck of it. Master Brooks has joined us again to make sure that we are in line, and if not, he will break a few boards in my face, and I will be very upset about it. Brooks, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming on, and thank you for forcing yourself to go down to Disney World to have to do these things, and also you were there for other business type of purposes, nothing to do with us, but just happens to work out.
That's right. So thanks again, Matthew, for having me on. We had a good trip. I did go down there for some for business purposes. I have a martial arts school, and they had the big U.S. Open down there, so I went and competed myself. Had some success. And now I came home to talk about it. So,
some success. He sent me a picture of the trophy that he was trying to smuggle on the airplane that was almost the size of the airplane for the first place trophies that he won, amongst many other pieces of hardware that he will have to put on an expansion to his dojo.
Well, thank you, Matt. Yeah, we had a good time, and it was my first time going down there, not using DVC points in a long time. So I enjoyed kind of going and using the convention process and finding out how the convention tickets worked and actually being down there for business. And that was a new experience for myself too, because I like to plan each day, all day, like a lot of other Disney people out there. And this was tough for me because I had to go and compete. And then I'd have evenings in the park with no plans whatsoever, and especially this time of year, that was a little bit tough for me.
Oh, I'm sure. It was, a lot different than what you're used to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even the resort itself was different than what you're used to.
Yeah, that's true. So we stayed at Coronado Springs. That's where the tournament was. That's where the convention was. And first time over there to stay, and had a good time. And luckily, our room was, it's a big resort, but our room was close to the convention and everything. So we enjoyed our stay. And whenever you're down there, especially in the middle of the summer, it's plenty of walking anyway. So we were happy to be a little bit closer than maybe we could have been.
Yeah, I think intentionally that's how they have Coronado set up. Besides the Destino Tower, which is on the opposite side, I believe, than the convention center.
Yeah, it was from where we were at. You would hit the convention center first. You would hit the Centro, I guess they call it El Centro, which I think was the old lobby area,
Yes.
and then you would get to the tower, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you got a lot of real estate in that resort. It's a larger resort. Since it's a convention resort, it's slightly upgraded amenities, but it is still considered a moderate. Um, I've stayed there a few times, not since they put the tower in, but I have stayed there a few times, and I do like it. I do like Coronado Springs. It is a nice theme resort and quiet and I don't know. I just like it.
Yeah, I mean the tower, might as well be Riviera. Actually, I mean it kind of looks a lot the same when you walk into that lobby and the way the setup is. So you kind of get that feel, but and then it kind of sprawls out. It with my DVC points and stuff. It kind of reminds me once it gets sprawled out like that a little bit like old Key West and that kind of stuff. But with the separate buildings and everything. But yeah, our room was all we needed. We were happy with that, and the for the time we were down there, we were happy to get on all the rides that we were able to get on, especially with the convention, with all the tournaments and everything I was doing. We had some pretty good success.
Yeah, that's the downside. It's not like a normal vacation where you can spend the entire day, each day going around doing something. You do have a prior commitment that you have to take care of, and then you're able to, if you have any free time left, and if you're able to still be moving around and standing, go and then enjoy the parks.
Yeah, go have some fun. I mean, if anybody listening ever does go down for a convention, I did enjoy when I was buying the tickets. I had the option of buying half-day tickets for the evening. Normally, I only hear of that when it comes time for like the water parks and stuff, but they do offer that if you wanted to do that. I opted for full-day tickets just because I wasn't. I just had so much uncertainty with what my schedule was going to look like, but I could have had done that if I wanted to.
Well, that's helpful. That's helpful.
Yeah, I mean,
The tournament that you're in, did it run all day or was it just in the morning or afternoon?
I did kind of get stuck most of the day. The one day we got out at 2, and then we did jump over to Typhoon Lagoon. So the way my passes worked, it was a 5-day plus 1 fun, and I even called ahead of time trying to talk to some people at Disney, and some of them hadn't heard of that particular ticket. But that 1 fun, I guess, could be used if you were a golfer on the golf course and stuff. But it also included the water park. So technically, it would have been a 6-day ticket if I spread it out that much. But we wound up using it at Typhoon Lagoon the day after we competed. Now those were some H2O nights, so Typhoon Lagoon closed early. So I toyed around in my head whether or not I was going to buy the H2O Glow Night tickets. But it worked out because we did get out at 2. I think we wound up getting over there by like 3:30, and then it closed at 7. So that was plenty. That was fine.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not bad. And how was Typhoon Lagoon?
we liked it. My kids had not been to Typhoon Lagoon. I don't know if I've been in 15 years, so it's been a long time. So I don't think my wife's even been there. But the other water park we have been at was Blizzard Beach, so that's the only thing my kids had to compare it to. But especially that time of day, my kids just needed the wave pool and the lazy river, and they were happy. So it was good.
It's fun. Same thing. I haven't been to Typhoon Lagoon in quite some time. I couldn't even tell you exactly the last time I was there. I've been to Blizzard Beach more recently, but Typhoon not so much. But times I have been there, I enjoy it. It's a nice park. It's well themed. It's got a lot of fun things to do.
It's interesting the way that they have the park, the water park set up right now. If you are someone who vacations the same time of year every year, you might wind up missing one of those water parks every year, right? I mean, I usually go at Christmas time, and I think at Christmas time, I guess would it be Blizzard Beach that's open, but you're missing the other one pretty consistently now. If that's how they're doing it, yeah.
6 months this park, 6 months that park.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tournament seemed to go well with you. The convention center setup, or just going through a convention process of booking and everything seemed to go pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and the I thought that the room pricing was pretty fantastic. I think we got it for under $200 a night at a moderate hotel there at Disney is pretty great. I mean, when I go and do these board breaking tournaments, I'm going to be in New York next month, and I'm going to be spending more than that just to be in like upstate New York. So to be in Disney at that rate, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and you really can't even do a Pop Century for the most part better than that. Right. Here you are staying at a moderate, and like I said, I think one of the nicer moderates as far as amenities go, because it's got the convention center. So that's a huge bang for your buck.
Yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely.
So, but you did get to the parks.
We got to the parks.
I think that's what a lot of people are interested in. So let us know about which parks did you get to, what days, and we'll go from there.
So we flew down on the 3rd, which everyone listening might know is a pretty busy time of the year. July 3rd and 4th tends to be pretty big times at Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and that's what I had planned. So I was going to try to get to Magic Kingdom on the 3rd and Epcot for a full day on the 4th. And that kind of lines up nice for their fireworks packages that they have, because the 3rd at Magic Kingdom, they do their 4th of July fireworks also, so they do it on the 3rd and the 4th, and then Epcot's big shows on the 4th. So we were flying down the middle of the day on the 3rd, and I'm still using now the old Genie Plus system, so I at 7 a.m. We hadn't been on Tron yet ever, so my family, we wanted to book Tron, so we made sure we booked a lightning lane for Tron, and paid for that. And what we did was we did it for the end of the night. For us, that the park was going to close at 11 o'clock on the 3rd, so we booked it so that the 9:50 to 10:50 window on the 3rd. So then from that point on, I also got the regular Genie Plus service, and I was just pushing Fast Pass. I got my first Fast Pass at 7. Park opened that day, I think at 8, which meant I can get my second Fast Pass at 10. So I kept pushing my Fast Passes, and then I had to get on a plane, I think 11:30 or something like that. So I wanted to make sure that I had Fast Passes booked. I'm calling them Fast Passes. They're lightning lanes. I'm an old school guy. I had to make sure I had my lightning lanes booked for after I landed, right? So I had to pick random stuff that would have been, so it wasn't even necessarily at that point in the day, I wasn't even necessarily picking things that I wanted to go on yet, because you can't choose a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock time. But I was trying to choose the latest time, so at least then I can land and then modify.
Yes.
So I was on my phone all day, and by the time we landed, I was doing more lightning lane modifying and getting all those, and we did have our room ready, and I had a Walmart Plus order and I had wanted to do a Tiffany Town Car. We stopped at Publix and got some subs, and everything kind of worked out where the room was ready. and the Walmart Plus order was there waiting for us, and we checked in, and then we were right to the Magic Kingdom. But by the time we got to the Magic Kingdom, it was 4:45 on July 3rd. So for that time of day, the park's pretty filled up. You would think we would not have been able to get on much, but we certainly kicked butt the way I had it all figured out with the lightning lanes. We got on really all of our priorities. We were able to manage to get on Tiana. Tiana, I had gotten the lightning lane. I had gotten the virtual queue at 7 a.m. and then I knew it was going to get called because I actually got a pretty early virtual queue. I think I got like 53. Yeah, so I was worried, and even the way we had our lightning lanes lined up, when we got to the park at 4:45, we just started going on stuff. So I didn't even head over to Tiana right away. And by the time we got to Tiana, it might have been 6:30, and I went over there and I said, "Hey, I got the virtual queue." The sign above it said calling virtual queue numbers 60 to like 120, something like that. So we were just past our window. We probably would have been in our window, I guess, if we had gotten first thing when we got to the park too. But nice cast member said, "Yeah, absolutely." Brought us on. I guess they have to do a little override. And we got on, and I was thrilled. And we got on Tiana because that was a big priority that had just opened. So we were really happy to get on that.
So tell us about Tiana's Bayou adventure. Someone who's definitely been on Splash Mountain more than once.
Oh yeah.
It's been on its successor.
Yep.
We know that the ride system's the same. The track's the same. Course is the same.
I am a big fan of bringing the IPs into the park. I didn't have an attachment to was a Song of the South. I think there's some things at the parks that are old and need to go. That might have been one of them. So there's like you can
I'm
still
not in the
go.
park at the moment. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can still go on Tom Sawyer Island and point a gun at people in the park right now. So there's some things that they could probably stand to change. So Tiana's, I'm very happy they did what they did. I wish they did more, but
Okay.
I'm very happy they did what they did. Splash Mountain Tiana it's a long ride, and so there's a lot you can do in that space of the ride. And so for parts of the ride, you're looking at greenery and fireflies, and so that's wonderful. But because it is a long ride, there could have been a little bit more to look at. I found myself explaining the storyline to my wife and kids, but that's kind of because I knew also what the storyline was from watching videos and stuff ahead of time.
I've heard a lot about that. That's one of the larger complaints is that no one understands the storyline, like exactly what's happening. Not to knock the ride, but you're on it and going, why is this happening and what's going on here?
Right.
Why is everything big all of a sudden?
You're right. I when that happened, I said I had to like turn to my kids and say we just shrunk down.
Did you hear Mommy Odie mention that you were getting shrunk?
So probably it had to be more audible. I mean, she said something and then we shrunk. Yeah. So things like that. I just, when Disney does stuff like this and they take a ride away from you and then they give it back to you the same ride, and we're not getting a lot of other rides at this time, and this is all we're getting, I'm a little disappointed. If we were getting other new rides, I mean, there's other competitors doing whole new parks right now and 3 new hotels at the same time and a lot of other things. If something else was happening and then they took 10 months and they did this and there was another big ride, but because this is the only thing, then we're going to overanalyze it, and it's worth overanalyzing because there's some flaws in it. But I I'm happy it's there. I think it should be there. I think it fits. I'm happy with it.
How was the
Am
music?
I contradicting myself, Matthew?
Yeah, no. How's the music?
No, it's a good ride. I just think there was too much relying on it, right? Because
Right.
there's nothing else being built. There's nothing else.
Well, like you said, there really hasn't. Like, what's the last? Well, we had Tron. We had Tron. Was
We
that
had the
last
ones
year?
that were the big ones for the 50th, right?
Yeah, we had Tron. We had Guardians. Um, Ratatouille came along, but that's kind of been the whole thing. I mean, you have Moana. Um,
Okay, so I took my kids on Moana.
all right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay,
Just
that's the
just
next day. Yeah, that's the next day.
yep.
Yeah.
We're just mentioning. Um, not just the fact that there's a lack of really anything else in the pipeline for now. I mean, we know of stuff is coming. That we've been promised that there's this whole Beyond Big Thunder Mountain project and whatnot coming, which is great whenever that's happening because we don't even have an actual timeline for that. We just
Yeah.
know it's probably in the works.
Right.
Animal Kingdom will get its redo and for Dino Land before that is up and running. The but you take a beloved attraction of Splash Mountain and say, okay, it's going away for some period of time. Turns out to be 10 months, which for Disney is really fast. And
Yeah.
you kind of hype up what is coming. And when it's the only thing that is the focus, really, especially such a big focus. Again, it's replacing a hugely popular ride. The lines weren't 5-minute lines to get onto Splash Mountain before it closed.
Right.
Like Maelstrom.
Right.
You know, when they did this to Maelstrom, you could walk on to Maelstrom at any point in the day, just about at any given point in time. So it made sense. So okay, we need to revamp it and bring some life back to this attraction. Splash Mountain was still a hugely popular ride, and then so you're okay. We're going to replace it, but we're going to give you something more up to date, more everything. It'll still just be fun. Okay, but your expectations so you're replacing something again that's already hugely popular and still popular at that point when you shut it down is you got to be on par or above what was there.
I think it's better than Splash.
Okay, that's.
I think it's better than Splash. Yeah. It was, but was that enough? Like because then it's just an upgrade. It's still not a new ride, and I keep thinking I want a new ride, right? In that sense, it's almost like when you do the overlays of Haunted Mansion out in Disneyland for Halloween and Christmas time, right? It's almost like when you do I guess it's actually a much deeper way, but almost like a Space Mountain overlay for Star Wars.
It's the Hyperspace Mountain, or even Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Breakout.
Sure.
Mission Breakout in DCA, where you're just taking the attraction and giving it a little different theming.
Yeah, and I guess in that sense, it did its job. I like I said, I liked it, and I think it's better, and I think it's good. I think it fits the park, and I love New Orleans, and I love I wish we had a New Orleans Square in Disney World like Disneyland has, and they're kind of fixing up that area. It'll be a little bit more.
You mint juleps, so
right. So I'm in. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's great. You know, we like that movie, Princess and the Frog. So yeah,
And here's kind of my prediction, as you were saying that it's enjoyable, it was okay. Is it enough? When thinking back to whenever the movie for Princess and the Frog came out, again, there was a lot of hype about it. It was bringing back hand-drawn animation and a few other things about it. And the movie in the theaters fell flat. I mean, it was against some competition in the theater, so it just didn't carry over so well. And uh, in the long run, the movie has aged well.
Mm.
It's become more popular post theatrical, and I'm curious, with everything that's going on with Splash Mountain, and like you said, a lot of it more has to do with the fact that it's this is all you're giving us.
Yeah, that's all. That's my that's yeah. That's my point.
Once we get more things and we've moved on from the point that, okay, we have Splash Mountain and there's nothing else that you really got going on for the next 6 to 12 months. Once that hump is taken care of, and once we moved on to, okay, now we got this coming up and we got these other things, that Splash Mountain will kind of, or Bayou eventually will now, settle in and just be kind of the attraction it was, but it's not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it should, as a replacement for Splash, I think it works and it's perfect. It's good. As the billboard for Magic Kingdom right now, maybe not so much. When you're on the buses, that's the one, and so that it's I should ask you this. I should ask this in the pre-meeting. Is it an e-ticket attraction?
Supposed to be.
Right.
You won on it.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate the animatronics. They're fantastic. And I appreciate the length of the ride, because I've seen some rides that Disney has done in other parks that are quite short. But again, they're working with what they got. So there was times that it just felt like, man, it could have been great. It was good, but it could have been great. That's the feeling when you get off. Wow, that was good. Ah, darn.
Well, we did that.
No, it made my trip that we got on it. I really thought, I went, it had been open 5 days, right? It had been open 5 days, and it's July 3rd, and right. And I got to the park at 4:45. The fact that I got on it, I was thrilled. And, I just I don't know. Hopefully when you go on, you'll feel the same way. I think everybody should be able to go on. I think that's what's tough right now, is if this is one that, you're sitting there at 7 a.m. and clicking for, and, if it's one you wind up having to pay for, that's where I would worry. For families with kids, it's great.
Okay.
It's great.
Well, I am looking forward to going on it. I do want to go on it. I'm looking forward to it. Also a New Orleans lover, and just the experience. Like I said, the music, from what I've heard, is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know it as well as the previous tenant there, but I am looking forward to checking it out. Next thing, I guess, also in Magic Kingdom, you did was new was Tron.
Yeah, Tron was new to
Speaking of
us.
short,
Yeah, Tron was new to us. We are happy to get on that. Um, you know, the coolest thing. First of all, my kids liked the canopy. Right, I think they Emma was calling it like I want to go on the glowy cloud ride, Daddy. I want to go on the glowy cloud ride. And I was like, what is she talking about? But so we,
and she
and we went
uploaded to
on
the
it.
cloud.
Yeah, we went on it at night, which was cool. And
Ooh, it's the best way from right here.
you know, the ride system is really cool where the way you're sitting on it. That one is short. Tron is
Yes.
short. So that did it leave you wanting more, right? Tron, you're not sitting there staring at walls, right? So you're flying past them at how many miles an hour? So, yeah, we liked it. We had a good time on Tron. That's one I wound up paying. It was, I think it was like $84 for the four of us to wind up going on it because I had to do the, 20 bucks plus tax. At the end of the day, I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't be doing that if I was going. I wouldn't do that multiple times a year, paying that much to do it. It was the first time we got on it, and I was happy with it. But yeah, it was good. It didn't make my kids' top two rides of the trip, so I don't know if that's saying anything, but they liked it. They did really like it. It
Good.
was fun.
Well, I'm glad they at least enjoyed it.
Yeah, and even that's a weird IP, like because they're like, "What is this a game? Is this was?" And so I was trying to explain it.
Yes and
Even
no.
the movie's a little old for me, even the original. So it's,
Oh,
but
you youngins.
yeah, us youngins almost turning 40. I mean,
Some of
yeah.
us were around whenever that movie was in theaters.
Oh well, yeah, okay. So, um, but yeah, so we like Tron. Yeah, it was good. That was the last ride. No, it wasn't. It was we snuck on the Laugh Factory on the way out. But yeah, it was a good way to end the night. We were happy with that. And again, between Tiana and Tron, I felt like my dad job was complete. That I did all the bookings well, and we got on.
Yeah,
You know,
those are quite the accomplishment to get them both in to newer attractions.
when I had 5 hours of the park. That you know what I mean. So yeah.
And then the fireworks. How was the fourth fireworks?
Yeah, they were good. We wound up being on top of Astro Orbiter to see them. The way we worked it out. I was trying to get on the People Mover to watch them, and I actually had a friend that was at the park, and he had bought the fireworks viewing package. We thought about that, but we decided I have a child who doesn't love the sound of the fireworks or crowds for that matter. So we figured we'd get a nice vantage point and try to keep him feeling safe and see the fireworks at the same time. So really, up there on Astro Orbiter, we were pretty much the top of the park, getting to see the fireworks. I like it when they make Mickey shapes in the sky. I like it, it's 4th of July when they do the red, white, and blue. So,
As I
yeah,
always say, everything's better Mickey shaped.
dude, yeah. So as always, they did a good job, and at that time of night, we were taking advantage of sneaking on some extra rides too. But yeah, really good job with the fireworks. And then the crowd thinned out a little bit, but then there was extra hours that night for people staying at the deluxe resorts. So then it kind of circled back. Yeah.
Okay. Well, but that's still a lesser crowd than just the rest of the day.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
yeah, and then the next morning we had to get up early and book more fast pass lightning lanes for the 4th in Epcot. So
And how did that go? So you were able to. You said you did Moana. There's also Communicore Hall.
Yeah.
Did you guys do Guardians?
We had early entry at 8:30. The park opened at 9. So we got there, 8:15. We had the rope drop, and we actually rope dropped Frozen because I had gotten a lightning lane at like for 4 p.m. for Remy, and I had purchased a lightning lane for Guardians. So my big ones that I wanted was Remy and Guardians, and in my mind they were already kind of taken care of. So we said, well, let's take advantage of rope drop and rope drop something that maybe we didn't want to waste a lightning lane on later. So my kids are a little bit past the age of like really wanting to go on Frozen, so we went on it first. So we did that. And the other thing is, by getting into the park that early, we hadn't eaten breakfast. So I made a quick reservation at Le Crepes de Paris. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Over
the
in
La
Remy.
Creperie.
Yeah, so where you can
Yeah.
sit down. So we were kind of laughing at everybody trying to eat their crepes with Nutella falling out, on a garbage can in Disney. Though that's kind of a tough item to eat while you're walking. So we enjoyed being able to sit down and eat some crepes in peace. So that was a
That's
nice.
a nice little venue there. We ate there the last time we were there too. We had reservations. Also happened to be a downpour coming through
Okay.
at that point, so we ducked in there, sat down, and we'll dry off a little bit. The crepes are really good, really big, and
Yeah, and a pretty decent price, right? Because you can get
right.
a crepe. It was like $11. Maybe an adult crepe was closer to. No, it was like $11, but some of the savory ones might have been 16 or something like that. But the kids' meal included 2 for 16. The kids' meal, they got a savory and a sweet for
Yes.
16. So each kid got like a ham and cheese crepe and then like a Nutella crepe. And so mom and dad had a little bit of that, and mom and dad had a crepe of their own, and reasonably priced meal, sit down meal in Epcot on a sweaty 4th of July morning. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, and good choice there.
Yeah, little last minute choice too.
Yeah.
And then again, I was trying to work my fast passes, my lightning lanes. What I realized the day before was once you use one, you get one, right? Or you get to use it again, but not necessarily. Like, it has to line up with your 2-hour window. So I was having a harder time on the 4th. Park opened at 9, so then I was able to get it at 11, but then we wind up using one. So then, but then I couldn't use it till 12. I could set a new one till 12. But we bounced around. I like the front of the park. My favorite pavilion used to be the Wonders of Life pavilion. I used to love that ride going into the human body. I like
Body Wars. Yes.
Yeah, I liked the energy pavilion with Ellen. I used to like that. So I really enjoyed the front of the park there, and so we bounced around there. We did Spaceship Earth. We did the Seas with Nemo, and we did Moana. I was trying to explain to my
Figment?
kids. Oh, we did that. We did that, and I just didn't use the lightning lane on.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure
Yeah.
that you gave my boy Figment some respect.
My son loves Figment, so I told my son, if we pass by Figment and it was 5-minute wait, we can go on, and we did, and we almost went on more than once because it was always a 5-minute wait. But so we got over to Moana, and I'm happy that there was no line. I don't know if that gets a line. It really shouldn't get a line because it's a walk.
It used to, but I think now that it's not as bright and shiny new thingy as it was, the lines aren't as prevalent.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed to have a line, as you were saying, because it is a self-guided walkthrough.
If it had a line, that's actually what I said as we walked out to my wife. If this had a line, I would have been disappointed. But I had known what I was getting into, so I was trying to explain to my kids. They were like, I was like, we got to hit Moana, and they're like, what is it? And I'm like, well, it's water. And they're like, should I get my poncho on? I'm like, no, it's like. And then Kathy's like, is it a splash pad? I'm like, no, well, it's not. So, they kind of didn't know what to expect, but they liked it. I think there's only so many gimmicks you could do with touching the hand in the water. So once they did it once or twice, then they started moving through faster. And then I was dragging the line behind because I was trying to do every single one because I know each one was a little bit different. And I've seen the videos of, hey, you will move your hand this way and it'll follow you this way. You do this with your hand. So I was trying to do all those things.
You get multiple people, the effect changes up a little. And
yeah, but again, so there wasn't cast members walking around. So like no one was like telling anyone that really.
Right.
I mean, I had seen videos online when it had first opened and there was like cast members explaining that. So like I was like yelling like to my kids, like, get back over here and raise your hands. It's cool. I swear. Yeah, I don't know if it missed the point then, but we liked it. It was good. If you were a kid and you liked Moana, would it be better or would it be worse? Because you don't really see Moana, right? It's just whatever. I think it fits where it is.
But you have to look for her,
right? I think it fits where it is because I think back to what is it? Was the Communicore, right? When you were able to go and there was all these little things you could play with and have effects and everything like that. So that paid homage to that for me. So I liked that.
To me, it makes me think more of the Imagination Pavilion, the upstairs, where you'd have you had the rainbow walkthrough where we stepped on. You had the different sounds, but then there was also. And you still kind of have that section where you have the you put your hands in the lights and you conduct the orchestra and things like that.
Hey, Matt, to me, the upstairs Imagination Pavilion is a DVC lounge, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Old school, right?
Get off my lawn.
Which it wasn't currently a lounge because they moved it temporarily while they're fixing that too.
Yes.
But okay. So yeah, I listen. I liked it. Again, I wouldn't have waited for it. So okay. So they tear up the entire front of Epcot. Thank God they gave us Guardians. We went on Guardians later in the day. We liked it.
I was going to say, I'm trying to remember. Have you done Guardians before?
We had never done Guardians before.
Ooh, okay.
And we did the song we got was Rule the World, Everybody.
Yeah.
And so I love that song. So yeah, we enjoyed it. My kids, that was one of their favorite rides. They really enjoyed it. And I'm surprised as many people I know that I talk to say that's their favorite ride because I did get a little sick on it. I know some people talk about how smooth it is. But I get sick pretty easily. But I haven't had someone come up to me like, it's great, but you do get sick. So maybe I'm the first person to say that. But I mean, you're on a roller coaster that also spins. It should be a cautionary tale.
Well, I think they kind of try to do that now.
But there's a smoothness to the roller coaster itself. But someone like me who has a hard time, having to try to look at the horizon so you don't get sick, that's a hard thing to do on a ride like that, is to try to find something steady to look at. But it's fun. It's really fun. It was a good time.
I did not notice. I knew in my mind that you're on the Omni coaster, so your car is adjusting your angle, your point of view as you're moving around. I did not notice at the points that it was happening because to me it was so synchronous that it did it relatively smoothly. Also, being in the dark helps.
Sure.
I mean, if you just in general roller coasters isn't always your forte, then yeah, I get the you're going to notice that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the type of guy, I like roller coasters, but I really don't like the teacups. So,
Okay,
so this was a little bit like a teacup on a roller coaster, but
true. That's a good
so-
analogy.
okay. So, but no, I couldn't get on it right afterwards. No, but it was very, very enjoyable. I'm glad if this is the direction rides are going in, I'll be very happy. Um, I'd be interested to see like what a slower version of that ride could be, storytelling wise. You know, half the speed. For example, but get more storytelling in. But yeah, I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, it's I think it's a shining example of what they can do.
Mm.
Versus some of the other things that they are presenting us that are cool, but not something that blows your mind.
Well, Guardians was built from scratch too, right? You're not working with what you're given. So some of these other rides that they're kind of retrofitting and stuff, you have to work with what you're given. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
happy to see that when they have from the drawing board, you know, that they could put together a product. I'm eager to see the next ride like Guardians, the next ride that is drawn up from the drawing board, and hopefully it is, as big and ambitious as Guardians, and not. Can I bring up, the Frozen sled ride? What is that, Tokyo? How short it is, and it, so I'm hoping we have more guards rides like Guardians and not,
Yeah.
these little things. So yeah, if that's the direction we're going, I'm here for it. Absolutely, yeah. I don't think it fits juxtaposed with what they did to the community center in the middle of Epcot, where they just kind of knocked down buildings to give you buildings. Um,
Well, in all fairness, it wasn't the building that they were initially planning for.
yeah, yeah. Because that's as a Disney guy that knew what they were gonna try to build there, I feel a little disappointed with what they gave us. If you didn't know what the plan was and you're like, oh, this is just a nicer, cleaner building, then maybe you'll just be happy with a nicer, cleaner building with a Starbucks in it. But um, yeah, uh, you know, uh, I'm happy to not see construction walls in the center in front of that park. Um, I do feel like they could have done more
You
with that.
missed out on Walcott.
I saw. I've heard people say, they don't like his pose sitting down there.
No. I wasn't. Walcott is what they were calling with all the walls.
Oh, Walcott for. I thought you said Waltcott. Yeah.
No.
No.
Did
Yeah.
you? But did you get to go talk to
So
Walt?
no. So I have. I haven't been to Epcot kind of by design while the walls are up. So I go to Disney quite often. Usually once a year. We've been probably 8 times in 10 years. But the way it worked out between the construction and the pandemic, we kind of made a conscious effort not to go back to Epcot until the walls were down. So,
Good.
I don't think I've been since 2019. Um, so just about when they were starting to do all that construction for the 50th. So, yeah, I didn't really have to experience any of those walls.
Lucky you.
I guess, yeah, I guess I'm lucky. I didn't have to deal with all that. I did miss Test Track though, this time around. We would have liked to have been on Test Track. That's another one where, gosh, when you take a ride away like Test Track, I hope you come back with something real nice. But I think it's just going to be Test Track Light. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm worried.
What were you on Test Track 2.0?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That
was
looks
on
like a Tronified version with
right. Oh, I see.
stripped down of the original Test Track.
Right. So Test Track 2.0 made me think this should be Cars. This should be, was it Cars 2 when they were like,
The Spies.
yeah,
Yes.
right. I was like, this should be Cars 2. That's what that felt like. And then so it made me want to like, okay, if you're gonna redo it as Cars 2. Right. And so now they're doing it and they're gonna maybe pay homage to the Wonders of Motion Pavilion.
To the world.
As I
Yeah, it's
understand.
supposed to be drawing inspiration from the World of Motion, which is the original tenant of that building.
Okay.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I don't know what. No one knows what that means exactly, and they are being very aloof about it.
I thought we were all about adding IPs. Let's do it. I don't know why not.
Chevy doesn't want to pay for it.
Okay, thanks, Chevy. So I'll be interested in see. Has anybody? We haven't seen Rock and Roller Coaster back up yet, right?
It's open.
It's open and
it's open. It's almost exactly the same. It was more the ride mechanics that they were working on than anything else.
Okay, is that what's going to happen to Test Track?
No, Test Track. They are completely rebuilding the insides. Someone went to Home Depot, got a whole thing of spray paint and lumber and.
Okay, so if they give you, so we had Test Track 1.0, we had Test Track 2.0. If they give you Test Track 1.5, somewhere in between, are you going to be happy? Is it right?
I probably will be, because the last iteration of it to me was
well because it
lackluster. It was the same ride, with less story, and less visuals. It was just it was all black lighting and just bright lines.
So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Test Track. I did not do any of the meet and greets, which apparently is the highlight of the Mickey and Friends at Communicore Hall.
Right, it's their new meet and greet section, which was in the well,
it was over there. It was in West. It was
okay. Basically where it is now, except in the previous building. So,
but
go ahead.
No, so they tore that down. They put that back. Then the other thing they put is the Encanto show, which we kind of heard all day. All right, we've had friends that have been to it. It looks good. It looks fun. It is outside, right? So on July 4th, in the heat down there, we had some heat up here, but we had some heat down there, and that was not something we were very interested in doing. So I did not get to do the Mickey and Friends, and I did not get to do the Encanto show. But
that's all right. How does the building look?
It's pretty. It's pretty. The outside. Listen, the outside. They have those panels to kind of look like Spaceship Earth. It looks pretty. It looks like it fits there. And the problem myself and a couple other people are having is it looks like on the inside like an empty hallway, like a cafeteria without like food bays. It just seems like an added extra air conditioned space right now. on the inside. The outside, I kind of dig the look. Yeah. I even paid attention when we were there. There was a downpour, and I was even paying attention to the drainage because I was curious to see if the new construction had good drainage, and it did. So
that's good. That's a
yeah,
nice change.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, because it could have gone the other way. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. And I guess what we've talked to other people is that maybe there'll be more happening in that building when there's festivals, but
That's the theory. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. So but the walls were up for 4 years, and we got a statue, a Moana walkthrough, and a meet and greet hallway.
Yes.
Okay.
But we also lost the fountain.
Right. Right. Let's not.
Well, no. Hold on. We did get the whole dining area on the other side.
Okay.
So and that's
yeah. Okay, we did walk through there. We had to use the bathroom. We walked through there, and then the old, what is it called, the Creation Shop, which was the old Mouseworks, right? And so
Creation Station, the kitchen.
On the other side is the Club Cool.
Yep.
And we went there. It was weird looking at it because it's literally like behind the shopping walls, like it's right there, like the ceiling doesn't go all the way up, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's kind of like closet.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to go right there. We're going right there. And my wife was like, wait, where? I'm like, Club Cool, it's right on the other side of this wall. We're going there. Let's go. So
yeah, it's kind of wedged in and not as impressive as it used to be.
I'm here for it. I love Club Cool. Give me any
iteration of it.
Iteration of it.
I miss walking through the iceberg.
There was there was an iceberg, wasn't there?
Yes.
Okay.
With the caveman frozen in the ice holding the Coke can.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question. So we went on Remy for the first time.
Yes.
We mentioned that. Now I know Remy is pretty much a copy from the one from Paris.
Right.
I hadn't realized, and I'm on the ride, they copy the audio too. They have the French and the English versions of the audio, just like they would have in Paris. Like it wasn't like you could tell it was very clearly French forward. I was so surprised. This is my first time on Remy, and I was like, oh my God, that was a lot of French. And it was in every scene, it was the French first and then the English. And I was taken back by that, not just because I know where the ride came from.
Mm-hmm,
and I don't know that anybody else will notice that and like it, and there's nothing wrong really with that. But I was surprised that they also copied the audio from it, or at least it seems that way.
I don't think it's as. I think in Paris you do get
more. You think
entirely French?
Okay, so yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, we're in this. Maybe it lines up better with their mouths and stuff, and they just kept it with the French first or something. But that was my first big note when I went on Remy. I was like, oh wow, they really did that, and it was good. I'm happy with it.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. A great ride system. I could do with less screens, but what are you going to do these days? It's 2024. People do screens.
Oh, yes. Lots and lots of screens.
And I would have liked more smell, actually. I'm trying to think maybe the one scene had smell.
Yeah, it wasn't as much sense as I was expecting.
Yeah, I do
bread, and I think that's kind of...
I do like I like a good smell. Even out in Disneyland, one of the rides that not a lot of people like, that little Monsters Inc. ride that I think was a Roger Rabbit ride at one point, with the
No, Roger's
Monsters
still
Inc.
there.
Oh no, then it's not Roger. Oh, it was Dick Tracy. The Monsters Inc. ride out in Disneyland. There's a scene where they go through the Chinese restaurant and they hit you with the smell of lemongrass, and I love it. So I love Disney for what they do with the smell. So if I had to complain about Remy, it would be, let's
More
give me a couple more
smells.
smells in there. Yeah. More smells. And then we had a rainstorm after Remy, and we wound up dipping into the Enchanting Tales with Belle, which is the 17-minute movie about LeFou being the superhero. Yeah, so that was funny. But we were hoping to have the rainstorm pass us, and unfortunately it did stick around. So then we threw on our ponchos and we walked towards the front of the park, and we missed what would have been a lightning lane for Soarin', and we went back to the hotel for the day. So
you missed Luminous.
And we missed Luminous. So as I understand, because they said so on the boats and stuff, it was going to be Luminous at 9, and then the 4th of July fireworks immediately after. So like the boat captain was saying, like, you get a double fireworks show essentially. So, and there was only one boat working. I'm talking about the boats to cross into from across the international sea. What do they call it? The countries, right?
Lagoon, yeah.
They only had one side going, where there's, I guess, normally two, and it was because they had extra boats out on the water for the second fireworks show. But so if you had stayed in Epcot on the 4th of July that night, you were going to get Luminous at 9, and then at 9:20 would have been the 4th of July fireworks show. So if you're someone who enjoys fireworks, and maybe that's something you want to do on the 4th next year, you get a double hitter.
There we go.
Yeah. We got to hear some booms from Coronado Springs Pool later that night. That was enough for my son.
I'm glad that worked out for him.
Yeah. And then I competed the 5th and the 6th. Later the day, the 6th, we headed over to Typhoon Lagoon for the evening. Like I said earlier, it was an H2O night. It closed at 7. That was perfect, because then we had an early morning. Our last day was in Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, I figured I had a choice to make. I didn't want to do Lightning Lane individual for Flight of Passage and Genie Plus. I was going to do one or the other, thinking that park, specifically maybe on that day, maybe the crowds had died down. Animal Kingdom Park on Sunday the 7th, a little bit removed from the 4th at that point. I said, I'm going to either do Flight of Passage first and then just buy Genie Plus for the rest of the day, or I was going to, rope drop something and then wait on a couple rides and just buy the Lightning Lane for Flight of Passage. So what we did was we rope dropped Flight of Passage, and we bought Genie Plus for the rest of the day. So that kind of worked. We went right on Flight of Passage. Park opened at 9. We got there at 8, for the rope drop at 8:30. So we were able to get off of Flight of Passage. It was like 8:55, and we jumped over on the Navi water ride.
The Navi River.
Yeah. So we were able to do both of those by the official park opening at 9. And then I had Genie Plus really for the rest of the day. And I had actually Genie Plus like a 9:45 Navi River Adventure. So we actually went on it twice pretty quickly or there in the morning. But stuff like Dinosaur at that point was only a 5-minute wait. So we jumped over on Dinosaur. So like Dinosaur, I did wind up going on twice because I had Genie Plus. So later in the day, when it was a 40-minute wait, we picked that up, and we got another lightning lane for Dinosaur. So my kids had never been on Everest, and my kids had never been on Flight of Passage. So those were our two big ticket items that we wanted to get through that day. That was no problem. We got on Everest later in the day. They enjoyed both of those. They enjoyed. They said Everest was just okay. I thought Everest is pretty good, but they thought it was just okay. They liked Flight of Passage. They thought that was cool. Kind of a cool experience. My son wanted to buy a Banshee, so he got like the plush one instead of the big fancy expensive one. But
yeah, I have one of those.
yeah, we had a good little day, and then we did the animation experience over at the conservation station.
Oh, nice. I haven't been up that way.
Well, I mean, the park closed at 6 that day, so it was like 9 a.m. to 6, and then Rafiki's Planet Watch doesn't open until like noon. So between noon and like 4:30, 5 o'clock, I guess they have a couple animation experiences. And we got a lightning lane for it, but you probably don't need to. But you do have to time it right with your train going over there. So you
can't just walk there.
Yeah, we love those animation experiences. We've done them on a cruise. We did them on a trip out to Disneyland. So this is the first time our son was able to do with us. My daughter just used one of the coloring pages that they gave out to little kids, but my son was able to follow along and draw. And it was Ed from Lion King, so the funny hyena. So, yeah, now we have 3 pictures of Ed from Lion King someplace that I have to like put up in our house. That's right. So I do suggest if anybody gets a chance to do the animation experience, that was pretty fun. That's always a good time.
Very nice.
Always a good time.
I haven't done it myself, so maybe.
Oh yeah, you got to get in on that. It's
next time I'm up there, I'll give my hand a whirl.
Yeah, it was good. My wife and I had done it on a cruise. We were just together. Just for one of our anniversaries, and then we went to Disneyland, just the two of us, for one of our anniversaries. So this was the first time experiencing with kids. It is 25 minutes of them sitting and drawing, so you got to make sure your kids are able to do that. But like I said, they were able to give like Emma just a coloring page, and she was able to kind of have a little fun. But it's kind of tough to follow along, so you kind of have to be paying attention. But I suggest it. Yeah, it was good. Nice. We had a lunch at Yak and Yeti. We had a good little Animal Kingdom day, and then, like I said, the park closed at 6, which was good because we had to get picked up for the airport at 3:30 the next morning.
That's why you were texting me then.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. So the only park we didn't hit was Hollywood Studios, but we had a trip previously that we went only to Hollywood Studios because my brother-in-law likes Star Wars. So I didn't think we were going to be able to do the rides at Hollywood Studios in like a half day after competing or anything like that. So I didn't even want to attempt it.
No, Hollywood Studios is kind of graduated from that half day park.
I mean, the way we did Epcot and Animal Kingdom with the lightning lanes, I was able to do a lot, and I was saying to myself, is this a half-day experience when you do it like that with all the lightning lanes? And then even when I did with Magic Kingdom, having some success that evening with the lightning lanes, it really depends on the situation, right? I mean, you can go to these park and those after-hour events and get on every ride. It depends on the crowd level. It depends on a lot of factors. If you're going to be able to get on all these things, you really can. If you like to do the rides, you're going to be able to do a lot of these, because a lot of these parks don't have, like Animal Kingdom doesn't have a lot of rides. No. So you're going to be able to do all the rides pretty quickly. Even, Epcot didn't have a lot of rides. We were able to do a lot of the rides pretty quickly. So you got a chance, but something but Hollywood Studios, because they're all big ticket, long wait rides kind of over there right now. They don't have a lot of rides, but a lot of them, Tower of Terror, Slinky Dog, Rise of Resistance, they're all an hour and a half waits. So you have to at least I know. So yeah, so that'd be even and then the Runaway Railway and even the Smuggler's Run. So they all kind of add up real quick over there. So that, I think that would have been difficult for us to do. So 3 parks, about 3.5 days. It was a good little business trip.
Oh, good. It sounds like it was quite the trip.
Yes, sir. The question is, what's this all going to look like when you have to use the new Lightning Lane? And I think you're going to find out in one of your next podcasts, right?
Yeah, we got plans to talk about that in the next week or two. So we are going to be delving into that and trying to decipher what the new Lightning Lane system is going to be like.
I hope you're going to be able to stack like I did. That felt pretty good. I mean, people have been yearning for those days again where you can get at least knowing before the day of that you're going to be able to get on 3 certain rides. So I hope that's what it sounds like it's going to be able to do. I hope that's what pans out. But I also hope you're still able to then buy more throughout the day. Because
yes,
that's
you will be.
Yeah, that's something that I like to do, is to just, hey guys, we're going on this one. Hey, I got this one. Hey, I got this one, and just stacking them and stacking them and stacking them. So
yes, you will be. The only thing you won't be able to do, and I will get into this more in coming episodes. Gosh, I think I have a plan for next week that you can't do a ride more than once.
okay, which I would have liked to do this past trip, because my kids did like Everest, and I could have gotten it on right away again. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can. You just have to wait in the standard line. You can't.
Right. We had done it like we had done with Dinosaur, where we had gone without a Lightning Lane, and then we used the Lightning Lane later. So, that's really the only way to swing it. If you could see it with no line, jump in it, and then get the Lightning Lane later when there is a line. But
Exactly.
Cool.
Alrighty, sir. Anything else that you want to mention?
Matt does a great job with his podcast, and everyone should listen and subscribe to that YouTube channel so we can do some fun stuff this summer.
Yes, please. We definitely said we're about halfway to our goal. We need more. We're not there yet.
Even if you have multiple accounts, subscribe with multiple accounts, like certain people over here like to do.
Yes, especially if you have multiple accounts, please.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of how many people, just we have the numbers.
Yes,
then that's Google's rules, not mine. Thank you, Master Brooks, for being back on again and talking to us and telling us about your wonderful adventures and your thoughts on the rides.
Oh yeah, can't wait to go again. Maybe not in the summer.
Well, it's Florida, so it's always hot.
Yeah.
We'll be talking soon. Make sure to join the conversation. Join us on those social networks where we're at pretty much everywhere at WD Magiccast. And particularly, like I said, we have the campaign going at the moment. We need your support on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and help us out there so we can be doing some more on YouTube. I want to thank you for your time. I know how little time we all have these days, but the fact that we get to spend some time together means a lot to me, to us over here at the WD Magiccast family. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. Please go to Apple Podcasts, go into Spotify, leave your rating review. We have all 5-star reviews at this moment. We need more. Keep them coming. The more that we have, the more they will do to promote the show as well. Speaking of promoting the show, don't forget to share a link out to your favorite episodes or the episode you're listening to, and let people know. And feel free to tag us along, and so this way we can thank you in person. Walt believed in a big Disney family, and so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show while you're at it. This way you always know when new episodes are posted. While you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber. Truly help the show out. Links to that is in the show notes, plus to our fantastic TeePublic store where you can get some really cool WD Magiccast wear, some swag, some tote bags, some coffee mugs, travel mugs, t-shirts, you name it, hoodies. We got a bunch of stuff on there. A lot of times it's on sale. Get yourself some really nice stuff and help your favorite show out too. Because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. Whatever you're facing out there, whatever troubles are weighing on you, whatever doubts are filling your head, don't give up. Don't listen to them. Don't believe them. You are special. You are wonderful. You are needed. Let the world see the beauty that you are, the special person that you are, because there's no one else like you, and that's for a good reason. The world needs you. Be your own hero. Never give up. Never give in. Let your light shine for all to see. And if you need help, it is out there. It may come from the form of a stranger, someone you haven't maybe even met yet. But it is out there. But you do have to ask. Now, I'd like to end this week's show with a quote from Walt Disney himself. People often ask me if I know the secret to success, and if I could tell others how to make their dreams come true. My answer is you do it by working. And that's Walt Disney. Thank you again for listening, everyone, and I'll see you next time.